Pre-Snap Podcast presented by LineStar, your top 5 NFL picks on Underdog Fantasy for Week 9. I cannot believe it is already Week 9. Alongside my co-host Tyler Wiemann, I am Shannon Sommerville. Tyler, like I said, Week 9, we are almost at the double-digit mark of the season, and there are Christmas decorations out already, which is blasphemous in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. As far as Underdog Fantasy, go ahead.
You can't put them out before Thanksgiving kind of girl, or?
Yeah, we gotta focus on Thanksgiving one at a time, you know?
All right.
My issue was when I was shopping for Halloween candy, the Christmas decorations were out, and I just thought, that's a little early, right? I don't know. When are you putting up decorations? Big decorations guy?
We'll do some decorations. We'll do a little bit.
Okay, there you go.
But yeah, probably not till Thanksgiving-ish.
All right. Tyler, resident Clark Griswold in the house. Love to see it.
Well,
can't wait for that.
You got to if you're going to go through all the effort with the tree and putting it up and all that, you got to enjoy it for a little while.
There you go. All right. Well, the holiday season is a little ways away, but Week 9 is here. We've got your NFL picks on Underdog Fantasy. If you don't have Underdog Fantasy, make sure to download it. Use the promo code LineStar when you do, and you'll get up to $100 if your first deposit match. So make sure to take advantage of that. It's a great way to play in these picks because in a state like California where sports betting is not yet legal, it is a great way to get in the game. So make sure to check it out, see if it's legal in your state, download it, use the promo code LineStar. Let's get after it, shall we? Last week, in Week 8, we were 2-3. Now, overall, on all of our shows across all of our platforms, we are 63-65, so we do have some ground to cover here, Tyler. I think we're going to start doing it here. Turning it on, getting all these green lights on Underdog Fantasy. Here we go. Let's start things off with a wide receiver that, Tyler, the Jets actually tried to go after this trade deadline, but did not acquire him. I'm talking about Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins, and the line for him is 49.5 receiving yards, and we got to take higher here because that is minus 130 in the sportsbooks, not bad value on Underdog Fantasy. And even though he's only gone over this mark in 2 of 6 games this season, averaging just 36 receiving yards per game, T. Higgins had 69 receiving yards last week against one of the best defenses in the NFL in the San Francisco 49ers. The Bengals are back, baby, and going against Buffalo, a team that actually ranks 22nd in pass defense DVOA versus opposing teams' wide receiver twos, Tyler. What do you like about T. Higgins this week?
Yeah, I think T. Higgins is just in a great spot, but the bigger thing is that it seems like he is healthy again. Burrow's healthy again. So he got off to a slow start, hampered by injuries, him or Burrow or both, and I think that's behind him now. And so we're going to get to the T. Higgins of old that we've been used to for the last couple seasons. And that T. Higgins, this line is way too low for.
Exactly. And going up against a Buffalo defense that hasn't been that good. They've dealt with a lot of injuries. Quite frankly, this is not the same defense we saw at the beginning of the season since Tre'Davious White, one of their stars, went out with an Achilles tear, and he's gone now, and it kind of changes the dynamic of that defense. Buffalo opposing wide receiver twos are averaging 47 receiving yards per game, and we all know that T. Higgins is not your average wide receiver two. He's so incredibly talented and could be a wide receiver one in a lot of places. Yeah, Chris Godwin, 54 versus Buffalo just last week. So I think T. Higgins is in a great spot here. So we like the over there. Next up, let's move to the Packers. It's Packers tight ends, Luke Musgrave, higher than 27.5 receiving yards. Musgrave's averaging around 28 receiving yards per game. He's gone over this mark in 4 of 7. What I like about this is his opponent this week is the Rams. They're 30th in pass defense DVOA. Versus opposing teams' tight ends. In fact, they have given up the second most receiving yards to tight ends so far this season, Tyler. Not a bad spot for the rookie here. What do you think?
No, not a bad spot at all. The only thing that scares me is the lack of offense there could be in this game with a 38-point game total. But Musgrave is in a great spot. You know, a lot of other tight ends have gone over in this situation. He is one of the Packers' most consistent weapons, and I think they're going to have to use him a lot underneath this week. So I like Musgrave.
Yeah, the Rams are allowing 62 receiving yards per game to tight ends this season. So Musgrave, it could be in a good spot here. to hit that over. Next up, let's go to Bucks wide receiver Mike Evans, higher than 53.5 receiving yards, minus 135. Decent juice on that in your sports books. Evans is averaging 72 receiving yards per game this season and has gone over that 53.5 mark 4 of 7 games this season, going up against a Houston defense that ranked 18th in pass defense DVOA versus opposing teams wide receiver 1. What do you make of Mike Evans' line here at 53.5?
I think this is a line that we just need to keep attacking. It was similar last week. He is a wide receiver that regularly can go over into the triple digits in a good matchup. And this is a decent matchup for him. It's one where 4 of 7 wide receivers have gone over. And it's really the more talented wide receivers in decent passing games that have gone over. Mike Evans fits that build, and so I like the over on this spot.
All right, so those are 3 from LineStar. By the way, it's the PropsAI tool is what we are using to find the best value in the prop market. If you haven't checked it out yet, go ahead and do so. PropsAI is on the LineStar app, and you can find that at linestarapp.com. We've had a lot of comments from people that have been able to use that tool to help them build their tickets and help them cash out. We've actually had a couple comments lately about a lot of people getting 6 for 6 on some of their picks, so good luck if you're playing, and remember to fire up that PropsAI tool. Now it is time for Tyler and I to put our heads to the test here. Instead of the AI, it's just Tyler and I and our brains going head to head here. Tyler, where are you headed for a pick on Underdog Fantasy in week 9?
I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker over 53.5 rushing yards. That's minus 115. Look, 5 of 8 RB1s have gone over on this. Walker has been over it in 6 of 8. There is a little bit of concern. He went into last week with a calf injury. He missed a couple days of practice last week and then was limited and only got 8 rushes. Still went over, still had at least 66 yards. But there is that little concern, and I think that is why the line is a little bit lower than it normally would be. This is a guy that would be crushing this line.
Yeah.
And this week, he has practiced in a limited fashion, but he has still been at least out there. So I think, he's going to be out there once again, and he's going to carry most of the workload. All
right, Kenneth Walker. Next up, I'm going to my prop bet, which is Indianapolis Colts running back Jonathan Taylor, higher than 63.5 rushing yards at minus 129. Well, he's only hit this in 2 of the 4 games that he's played. I like that his snap count slowly increasing. He's averaging about 51.8 rush yards per game, but he had 95 rushing yards last week. This week, he gets to go up against the Carolina Panthers. They are 32nd in rush defense DVOA. Just to note, that DVOA stat basically takes into account strength of opponent. So I like to use that metric for when I'm looking at the different stats. Now, they're also 20th in run stop win rate against a Colts O-line that is actually top 10 in run block win rate. So a good matchup here that Jonathan Taylor can absolutely exploit. 6 of 7 RB1s have gone over against the Carolina Panthers, the only exception being Dameon Pierce last week. Opposing running backs have averaged 87 rush yards per game. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to hit the over here with ease. I like his spot here. I know, Tyler, that you mentioned that your only concern there was the running back by committee situation that is still in place there with Zach Moss there. But I do like that his snap count is increasing. And I also think, give him a breather every once in a while and have fresh legs going in there. It's not always a bad thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, he had over in the first quarter last week, so he could do it.
Absolutely. All right, you can tail our picks on Underdog Fantasy. Just to recap for you, we've got T. Higgins over 49.5 receiving yards, Luke Musgrave over 27.5 receiving yards, Mike Evans over 53.5 receiving yards, Kenneth Walker over 53.5 rush yards, and Jonathan Taylor over 63.5 rushing yards. Again, if you don't have the Underdog Fantasy app, download it. Use that promo code LineStar for up to $100 of your deposit match. And also play in our Prop Bets contest. I didn't even mention that. I forgot at the top to mention that. If you comment below, you're automatically entered in to win our Prop Bets contest. If we hit all 5 of our props, we're giving out $100 here on the show. So you got to be in it to win it. All you need to do, make sure you like this video, that you're subscribed to your channel, and you comment below. And hey, let us know what you think of our picks. If you think they're awesome, if you think we're absolutely crazy, we want to hear all of it. And we want to hear your picks as well, because we're all trying to help each other out and beat the books here and get a winning ticket. We want to see those green lights this weekend. All right, good luck everybody in week 9 on Underdog Fantasy. We will see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.